What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. My name is Gregson and welcome to Shifting Lanes. Today, I am almost a full year owner of this car. This is my Aston Martin V8 Vantage. And if you can't hear, it's probably very windy on camera and it is totally wretched outside. All the leaves are gone from the trees. It is the winter, and yes, it is 38 degrees outside and I am still driving this thing around. I've been daily driving this thing 2 to 3 to 4 times a week all year long, and that includes all the way when I bought it back last January to today, which is about a week shy of December. So I've owned this car for a year. I want to go over exactly what it costs to own and operate this car for one whole year, because I think you'll be very surprised as to how little the money that I put into this is. There's a bunch of elective stuff, but the actual necessary maintenance on this pretty much shocked me when I went over the numbers. So let's hop inside, let's go over the numbers, and be sure to watch to the end because I think you're going to be very surprised as to what I have to say. Before we get going, I wanted to let you know that this video and all of our videos are sponsored by FCP Euro. If you don't know who they are a foreign car parts supplier to you guys. If you have any European car like Audis, BMWs, Mercedes, Volvos, Saabs, stuff like that, go check out their website. It is www.fcpeuro.com. They have a tremendous amount of OEM, and some aftermarket parts with amazing prices, so you guys should definitely go check them out. We purchase stuff from them even outside of the sponsorship, and we thank them for the continued sponsorship of this channel. So we believe in their company and their model. Go ask about their lifetime warranty on a lot of their products, including wear items, which is really, really cool, and any shipment over $49 gets free shipping. Go check them out. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. All right, so I moved the car around to the other side of the car park because the glare was horrific over there. As you can see, it's very bright outside. So, going over the numbers, I purchased this car all in for just over $40,000 from Tavares. If you don't know who Tavares is, he's a huge YouTuber, and you should go check out his channel. I'll actually drop a card to his entire channel and his Lamborghini playlist up above. And he basically reached out to me and said, hey, you know, I don't need to sell this car, but I'd like it to go to a good home. I think it would be a really cool opportunity for you guys to showcase it on your channel. And what do you think if you want to buy it? And I said, hell yeah, that's an awesome idea. So I purchased this car from him with taxes, titles, fees for just over 40 grand. Now, I've owned this thing for about a year, and all the numbers are pretty interesting. So first I'm going to go over what I did electively to this car, and then I'm going to go over what maintenance was done exactly that needed to be done. So electively, as you probably all know that do watch this channel or know this car at all, I have wrapped this car in this very cool iridescent blue. It's called Blue Black Iridescent, literally. I think it's a KPMF color, and it is ridiculously good looking. It sparkles beautifully in the sun. It is dark at night. From some angles it looks flat, from some angles it looks glossy. It's just an incredible wrap, and it was done by the guys at Wrap Boys or Wrap Specialties. If you search either of those guys, they'll come up. It's in, I believe, Woodbridge, New Jersey, and Marcos did it along with his crew, and they did a fantastic job. And if you want to check out any of their work, definitely look in the link below. I will drop a link to their Instagram account. They do crazy stuff in there. They do everything from just panel vans to Rolls-Royce Phantoms. So they know what the hell they're doing, and they do amazing work because this thing came out so nicely. That was $4,000. Now, that is a relatively inexpensive wrap, to be quite honest with you. If you're doing something as large as like a Chevy Tahoe, it could run up to 10 grand depending on where you go, because you need materials. It depends on how big the car is, the labor involved, how long it's going to take. There's just a lot of things and metrics and stuff that goes into these wraps. So this was a relatively easy wrap, even though Marco said that getting this car apart was a tremendous pain. The second part to the wrap actually was the side sills to this car. If you look at 2006 and 2007 models of the V8 Vantage, they have a bit of a rounded inward facing side sill. That basically, it looks good, but I thought that the V8 Vantage S side sill looked better. You can find this on 2008 plus models, I believe, and you can probably find it in other models, but I bought these specifically from a site called Scuderia with a friend of mine, Nick, who also owns an Aston Martin V8 Vantage from 2009, and we both got the same things. They were $1,054. with shipping, I'm not going to put in the shipping charge because I think that's, you know, whatever. I don't think that's necessary, but the shipping charge is about $300. So the side sills themselves were about $1,400 rounded up, I think, with shipping and change. So we'll say $5,400 so far on Elective stuff. That includes the wrap and the side sills. I still have the original side sills, so those are just hanging around in my basement somewhere. Third thing, and probably the biggest change to this car outside of the wrap, were the wheels. The wheels are BC forged wheels, and I purchased them through a guy named Rich. He has a website called redpants.lol, which is a hilarious website name, and he is a V8 Vantage expert. He knows pretty much everything there is to know about these cars, and I reached out to him saying, hey, I need some wheels. BC Forged is basically like HRE Light. They are forged wheels. I believe they're made in Taiwan. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'll probably drop something below if I said that incorrectly. But they are really, really, really good wheels, and these wheels, the KL12 models, were $3,400. The center caps I had custom made, and those are Aston Martin center caps for another $400. So the wheels themselves were $3,800. Now, on top of the wheels, we have Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's all the way around. And in my opinion, those are the best street tire you can buy for daily use on the market right now. They were $1,800. So if you add up the wheels, which were $3,800, and the tires, which was $1,800, you get $5,600. Now, on top of the $5,400 we already spent, that is now 11 grand we've put into this car just in basically aesthetics. I will, however, caveat that the wheels and tires, especially the tires, were 100% necessary. The original wheels were totally knackered. There's big chunks taken out of them. They are not really in great shape. They're great from 20 feet, but when you get up close, there's big chunks taken out, and I attribute that probably to a past owner, maybe going on a 20,000 mile road trip around the country. Doug, looking at you on that one. Hey, look, this car has nearly 70,000 miles on it, and even if Doug didn't take it on a 20,000 mile road trip around the country, it probably would have happened anyway, because wheels just get, you know, dinged up over long-term use, especially wheels like this. They stick out from the fenders. They, you know, they're faced with a lot of the elements. So, you know, there's not a lot you can do if you're doing a ton of stuff, you know, driving a ton, and a rock comes up and hits your wheel. So look, it's gonna happen. But the new wheels are fresh. They look perfect. And the new tires are great. The tires that came off of these things, I believe, were Bridgestones, and man, they were absolutely bald. I don't think Freddie actually changed the tires from when Doug had them, and Doug replaced the tires, I think, during that road trip. So those tires probably had between 20 and 30,000 miles on them. They definitely needed to be changed. End of story there. So we're at 11 grand, which is a ton of money. However, there was some stuff that needed to be done to this car regular maintenance wise, which actually wasn't too bad. So I got a fresh oil change. That was the first thing to do. The brake fluid we also flushed, and that really is it. And I'm not kidding. There has been zero problem with this car as far as what's 100% needed from the dealer. An oil change and a brake fluid flush. That's it. That's all that's been done to this thing from necessary maintenance. There are a few other things I've done because they needed to be done. When we had the car apart, this thing threw basically every code in the book. So I had Aston Martin of Summit take it and do a reset of the computers and the whole system, and everything went away, and that's perfectly fine. And that happens when you wrap a car, so it's not really that big of a deal. The next thing I did was, when we did wrap it, we took out the K40 system in this car, and it was giving me so many issues. There's a speaker down here in the actual, believe it or not, in the vent towards the driver door, and it was just basically going off every 5 seconds. There was some electrical fault tripping it. So when we took the car apart for the wrap, I said, look, if you have an electrical guy, just take it out. It may have been why all the codes were thrown, I'm not sure, but it's done, it's out. I still have the Valentine one, which you can actually see right here. This rearview mirror is a Valentine 1, and that is a very, very high-tech radar detector. I have barely used it. I think I've used it once, maybe. But to the next owner of this car, or whoever owns this car in the future, that's a really nice thing to have, because you basically know where every cop is on the planet at that point, and that's really cool. So if you have Waze going and this thing, you're pretty much set for a nice long road trip. The other thing I did that was elective, but I had Aston Martin of Summit do the work, was the rear hatch. The rear hatch was leaking. Basically, there's two little channels on the outside of the rubber that surround the window. I believe that those are clogged and basically was dumping water inside the car. Now, after it rained, there was giant puddles inside of the back, and that was noted by Doug actually way back when he did, I think he was up in New Hampshire with this car, and he made a video about it, and he put his hand down, you could hear just like a and that's all water back there. The same thing happened to me. I left it out in the rain, and I basically took all the carpeting up, I dried it all out, and I said, look, I don't know what's going on here, but can you fix it? They basically took it and sealed the whole thing from the inside, and haven't had a problem since. I've driven it in the rain, I've left it out in the rain to test it, nothing, absolutely nothing. It is perfect. This car has been an absolute joy to own for this last year, and if you add up all that stuff, the $11,000, the basic maintenance, the sealing of that, all this other stuff, I've spent $13,000 to run this car for the last year. But if you take all the elective stuff out of it, I've only spent around maybe $1,000, and that is with the oil change. And I forgot to mention, the oil change also came with filters. I did redid all the filters in this car as well. So that's fuel filter, oil filter, pollen filter, and everything like that, and gave the engine just a quick refresh. It was about $1,000 to $1,500 because it's done at an Aston Martin dealer. If I did it myself, it'd be a lot cheaper, but only $1,500 to own. Now, if you want to factor in gas on top of that, I've spent about $700 in gas, so it would be roughly $2,200 to own and operate for a full year. And this car has been dead reliable to me ever since. And I mentioned it in my last video, the 5 things I love about this car. It has been reliable. And I think that kind of dispels a bit of a rumor that these, decade to 15-year-old cars that are British and hand-built, they're just gonna fall apart. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I mean, maybe this is a really good model, but I know a bunch of people that don't really have a lot of problems with these cars mechanically. Yeah, there's been some weird electronic faults. Obviously, the K40 was weird, and that was giving me a little bit of an electronic trip. I have gotten a couple warnings on my dash saying the hood was open while driving. The hood was not open, but that went away after a few minutes. But I think that's just British engineering, British electrical systems, and hand-built cars having weird faults to them, and having quirks and features. It's just kind of the quirkiness of these cars. So yeah, I mean, this thing has been unbelievable to own for the last year, and I sort of love it, but I'm selling it. That's right, I'm going to sell this car, and I think there's a couple of reasons why, so bear with me, and then I'm going to go into a garage update as to what's going on with my personal cars on this channel. I'm going to sell this car because I bought this from Freddie as a way to build subscribers on this channel. If you watch my VinWiki video, I've loved Aston Martins for the last 10-15 years, and I've always wanted to own one, and this was a dream for me to own one, and when the opportunity arose, I jumped at it, and it's been amazing for this last year. However, I think it's time for this car to go off YouTube. I think that this car has run its course on YouTube, and it deserves to go to an owner that's going to daily drive it and really enjoy it as a car, not necessarily as a tool for views or subscribers. So that's what I'd love to do. I'd love to sell it to someone that's not on YouTube, for that sole reason, because I don't believe that this car should be a YouTube car anymore. I think this car needs to have an owner that's going to look at it every day and say, man, I really love owning that car, instead of, man, I gotta make another video with that car. So that's part of the reason. The other reason is I need another family car. A modified Volvo V70R is not really a family car, to be quite honest with you. It's loud, it's you know, not great on gas. It's 13 years old. It may be unreliable. Then that's my other car. If you don't know, I own a Volvo V70R from 2005 that I'm turning into a BMW E46 M3 Killer, and that's not really a family car. I've named it the Dad Wagon because you could shuttle your kids around in that thing, but it's not really what I'm doing to it. It's not going to be a true dad wagon. Essentially, it's going to be sort of a sports car. So I'm going to sell this and get a new daily driver, which, to that point, my Subaru WRX is now sold. So I have this in the Volvo, and the Volvo is still in the shop. That should be ready this week, and you'll get a video on that next week from me with exactly what we fixed, and the week after you'll get the dyno video that I promised you for probably upwards of 2 months now. So yeah, that's the garage update. But yeah, this car is going to be for sale. I'm going to list it online at the end of this week, and it'll be on Craigslist. It'll probably be on a bunch of other sites, and if I can't sell it, I may list it on Bring a Trailer. So if you're interested or you do want to buy this car, you can email me. It is gregson@shiftinglanes.com, or you can find me on social media. It's just at real Gregson M, pretty much everywhere, Instagram, Twitter. But yeah, if you want to own the former Doug car, former Tavares car, and soon to be former Shifting Lanes car, own sort of, I think, a little bit of YouTube history, honestly, then definitely let me know, because I'm going to sell it, and it's going to be given to hopefully an owner that really truly appreciates it. Not that I haven't appreciated it, but I really want to give this to someone that's going to treat it as a normal car and not a YouTube car. I just got a notification on my phone that I need to get to work, so I hope you liked this little update video. If you do want to message me in any way, you can find me. It's at RealGregsonM. If you want to get in touch with us at Shifting Lanes, you can email us. It's contact@shiftinglanes.com, or you can get involved on social media. It's at Shifting Lanes everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Sorry this wasn't more action-packed, but next week I'm getting the Volvo V70R back on the road, and I cannot wait to give you guys that video, show you what we fixed, and take it for a drive. If you want to check out more about this car on our channel, you can click right here for the rest of the playlist. If you want to check out more in general on our channel, you can click right here. And if you want to subscribe, click right here. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. My name is Gregson, and I will catch you next time. See ya.